What's up, everybody? It's me, Topher Crost, and I'm here with Chandler,
Who?
Mike, Chandler. That's what I'm calling you, Chandler.
I get it.
Okay, Michael and Daddy, and we're gonna we're gonna talk about Infinity War. Just before we start, just know that there are spoilers, obviously. So, um, yeah, don't watch this if you haven't seen the movie yet. So, the first thing I actually wanted to talk about in Infinity War is how they managed to get so many characters in the movie, and how what you guys think about that. Like for instance, how they separated it and stuff. And do you think they did a good job?
So I can tell you how they got all of those big name actors in one movie.
Oh
Money.
yeah, money.
Lots of money.
Yeah,
Lots of money.
that fucking did it.
I mean, that's really what it is. At
Yeah,
this
but
point, they have so much money in the bank that they can bring anybody back.
the way I thought they were gonna do it is like they were gonna do like the first two Avengers, where they just like, I don't know, put everybody against an army, and I guess they kind of did that, but like put everybody against an army, and then all of them come together, and then they do the really awesome circle shot where you see everybody, and then they all fight it. No, they had three separate stories going on throughout that. Four, really,
They all come back together at the end.
and they all, no, they don't. No, they don't. This is
Yeah,
spoilers.
Tony's still out there, stranded
That
So,
is,
they're
with
chilling.
with a fucking stab wound.
Yeah.
Just
oh yeah, I forgot he is hurt. He didn't really show it at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
No, he fixes that.
Did he? Yeah, he did. He kind of
Air
iced
quote
himself.
fixed it.
He iced
Yeah.
himself. He was like literally stapling together his wound.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, but
nanotechnology
notice-
for life, man.
yeah, he definitely didn't fix it up. Like, damn, dude, I'm fucking good to go. Like, he's still probably in a little bit of pain.
Jumping jacks. And
More
all.
emotional
but yeah,
pain.
him and Nebula are just kind of stranded out there right now. So
Well, who else is? Wasn't there someone else that was still alive?
they all poofed into the air.
It was just
Everyone
Nebula
on
and
Titan.
Yep.
I guess Nebula is
Okay.
with him, isn't he? No, I thought
Yeah.
she died. No, she's
No.
there.
she's still alive.
Nebula and Tony are the only ones still on Titan.
Oops. Yeah. Okay. So there you go. Yeah. All right. So then, so it was
We
those
didn't
two.
follow a structure there at all.
No, there is no structure. I didn't expect there to be a structure. I just wanted to get your thoughts. So I have some actually.
So
If you were to rate the movie on a scale of 1 to 10, let's just go ahead and get this out of here. What would you rate it? 1 to 10.
A 1 because they killed my son,
Wait, who's your son?
little baby Peter Parker,
Little baby Peter Parker?
Little Pete.
little Pete.
Little Pete. All right, Mike, what would you rate it? Scale of 1 to 10, best guess. Best guess. Don't guess. Just what is your opinion on it?
Oh man.
But best guess, no.
But best
like,
guess.
no
Best guess. Best guess.
No pressure.
In terms of favorite Marvel movies, it'd probably be number 4. And in terms of a movie, I watch movies every week, like a lot. I think this is like a 6.5, 7.
Really? Okay. See, you're actually what do you rate it just specifically as a Marvel movie though? You said it's in your top 4.
It's in my top 5. It's
What's
4.
what's beating it?
Black Panther's definitely beating it.
Yeah.
Black Panther, I think.
Well, he's dead.
I'd say
so-
is 2.
Spoiler. Shit.
Well, maybe dead. Maybe dead. Maybe dead. Yeah, no. Black Panther's 2, which I didn't expect because I never liked Black Panther.
What is your
as a
number
child.
one?
Really?
Yeah. Well,
Black Panther
What?
2. What's your number 1?
the first Avengers.
The first Avengers?
Hmm
I have
Number 3 is Spider-Man: Homecoming,
I get it.
mine.
and number 5 is Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's
God,
pretty
I
good.
get it.
Yeah, that's actually
The
pretty
first
good list.
Guardians of the Galaxy,
I
not the second.
I have the
I
most
love the
contra.
second one.
The second one, I think it was better than people gave it credit for.
Yeah, like
Oh, I like
everyone,
the second one.
everyone complained about it, and I'm just like, man, it was so fucking good though. Like,
I thought it was a great
I
sequel.
don't
didn't
think-
think it was as good as the first one.
That's about the same opinion I've got. I liked the first one better, but and the second one was kind of too focused on Star Lord for my opinion, but it still worked and I enjoyed it. Although,
Well, he is the longest standing Guardian of the Galaxy.
whatever. I don't care about all that. Not really.
Okay, so I think I raised a good question though that we should include going forward.
Okay.
So when Daddy over here gets to her turn, she can just answer both.
Okay.
But we'll go back around to everybody else. So for everybody going forward, we need to state our top 5 Marvel movies and kind of give an explanation why, so we could figure out like where everybody stands, because all these movies are so different.
Okay.
God, I don't know where
then
my 4 and 5 are.
Okay. Well, let's for the sake of
So
not.
I've seen every movie. Oh
So
shit!
have
I
I.
forgot about
Also,
Winter
we have
Soldier.
to think
That's a
like
lot.
some of
Such a good
them.
one.
I've got my
Like-
top 3.
Does Deadpool count?
No.
Deadpool does not count because
Oh my
it's
god,
not
if it did.
MCU.
But yeah, no, it doesn't.
No. If we were gonna include just Marvel movies like with the brand,
Then the
X-Men
very
would
first
totally
Hulk
be up
movie, I
here.
get it.
Well, Logan would. Logan is my favorite
God.
Marvel
I
brand.
still, I
think
haven't
I said
seen that
Logan.
yet. I haven't
It was
seen it
so
yet.
good.
I haven't seen it yet. Well,
What?
here's the thing.
Logan
No,
made me cry.
No, just
Logan
listen.
is one of the 5 movies that have ever made me cry.
Just listen. This is the reason I
see.
did it. I had to either when I picked to something to start, I either had to watch the X-Men universe or I had to watch the Marvel universe, and I picked the Marvel universe because I knew more about it. According to I've never seen. I've tried so hard all these years. I have not seen one X-Men movie. I've done it on purpose so I can
Well,
binge all
I,
of them.
look,
Well,
in my
literally-
opinion, you're not missing out aside from
Logan.
Logan.
I heard
and
they're
then-
all. I heard a lot of them are like they're either really good or they're really bad. There's no in between for them. Like
It's
all
very
the
true.
I love all of them.
Oh, so you're a big fan of Origins Wolverine?
That one never came out. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
That's the only one that there's that one and X-Men 3 that I just don't like to think exists. But the entire prequel thing, loved it. X-Men Apocalypse, kind of and then the first 2 X-Men movies are heads and shoulders
Dated.
above everything.
Okay,
But-
so
Logan is better than every MCU movie that has come out.
okay, but
I
Mike,
stand my
we're
ground.
talking. That's fine. To stand your, I haven't seen the movie yet, so I couldn't say yay or nay.
Yeah, I will buy you the copy of the movie and ship it to you because I'm that serious.
Okay, okay, calm down, calm down. It's okay.
That was my favorite movie of last year.
Okay, so I guess we'll try to do our top 5s. Mine's probably gonna be disorganized because I have a lot of different ones and they kind of move up and down. But I guess we'll start out with Chandler because he already said what he rated the movie. So Chandler, once again, what is your between 1 and 10 for
I
Infinity
mean,
War?
genuinely, between 1 and 10, it's honestly probably an 8. It's like, I mean, I really enjoyed it. The very ending is, just sad because, again, baby boy got killed off. Like, everyone had like speculations, like, oh yeah, Vision's gonna die, haha, lol.
we
walking
all
Infinity
knew
Stone.
Vision was gonna
Yeah.
die though. There's
I
no
figured-
way.
I
We
figured
didn't
maybe
expect
Cap.
that he would die twice.
That's very true.
Oh, well, you know he's gonna die, but did
This
you know
is
he was
the
gonna
only
die
Avenger to get
2 times?
Twice.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't think
Speculated Cap.
anybody expected Peter to die.
Not
Like,
really.
I don't think
I don't
anyone
know.
expected Black Panther to die.
yeah,
no,
that
I didn't expect that.
Considering that made
Yeah.
the
But
metric-
both of them, they came out the same year. They were the 2 of the highest rated movies all year. They both received so well with critics. Nobody thought they would have the balls. And I still don't think
Yeah.
they have the balls because if you want to be 100% honest, that shit is not going to be permanent. There's no
Oh, no.
way.
No, we all know.
There's no
Yeah,
way.
right. There's no way. And if they did, I would probably respect it more but hate them a lot more.
I get it. I mean, I would be fucking tilted beyond all belief. But yeah, I just didn't expect every Guardian except Rocket, Spider-Man,
Kinda
or Black
Nebula.
Panther. And kind of Nebula, I guess. But
Holy shit, eggs and toast. It was every Guardian but Rocket.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, damn.
all
got
Rocket
lost
has left is Thor, his new
Including
friend Thor.
Mantis, who's barely
That
a
poor
guardian.
little bunny.
kind of.
Yeah, that's why we kind of were like, oh, kind of Nebula. But
Hey, do you guys think that what was the name of the weapon that Thor got?
Stormbreaker.
Yep.
Stormbreaker. I don't know how I forgot that. Groot made the handle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's still alive, huh?
Shouldn't the handle disintegrate too?
That's a good fucking
No,
question.
come on,
I'm gonna
it's
say,
not Groot no more.
yeah, I was gonna say
It's
since
not
it's
Groot
technically
no more.
it's technically not alive anymore, it wouldn't even be in that coin flip to see who's dead and who's alive. So
But for my top three, because I don't know if I have a 4 or 5 yet, it's definitely Homecoming, Ragnarok, and probably Infinity War at 3.
Wow. So
Wow.
only the recent Marvel movies.
Look, Homecoming because Spider-Man as an MCU Spider-Man, and it was actually just really fun. Ragnarok because it's the only good Thor movie. I don't even know if there's any other ones besides Ragnarok.
I agree with you there.
There-
There isn't. I don't know what you're talking about.
There's only one
No.
Thor movie. We're not going to talk about the other.
No, hang on. There's Ragnarok and that one scene where Loki turned into Captain America, and that's it.
And then Infinity War, I mean, just probably because it's so fresh in my mind. I bet if I rewatched a couple of them, it might fall a little lower. But
Okay, that's a pretty good list. I think a lot of people would agree with you on that.
maybe at number 4, we're going to squeak a little Ant-Man in there.
Oh, see, finally, Ant-Man appreciation.
Ant-Man's good. Ant-Man was a good ass movie. A lot of plot holes,
Not
but it was a good ass movie. All right, Daddy. What is your favorite top 3 or 5, whatever one you want to do? And what did you rate
Also, what
Infinity
did you
War?
rate the other movie?
Yep. What did you rate Infinity War?
I'd say like an 8.5.
I think you've had the
God
highest
damn.
opinion of it so far.
I think it was really good.
All right. I mean, I agree. No, it was really, really good. I mean, I have my complaints, but we'll get to those later. So what's your top 5 or top 3, whatever one you can do?
God, I don't know if I can actually do like an order. Like, I
can
don't
just
think
say
I
'em.
could pick like a true number one.
Yeah,
But-
I'm thinking about it. I'm having a hard time with that too. Just do like 5 of your favorites.
Both Guardians would definitely be in there because I liked both of them. I thought they were really good. The first Avengers, and then Age of Ultron. I watched that movie like 4 or 5 times in the theater. Like I watched it so much. And then obviously this one.
The
And then-
Infinity War.
Yeah.
So
And
you-
then I really liked Thor Ragnarok too.
So you like it seems like you like the more comedically based ones, or
Yes.
the ones where like they're all assembled together. Those are your favorites. That's
You hit the nail on the head with the comedic part.
Yep. I mean, but they do it really well. They did.
You're right.
I didn't think I was gonna like comedic Thor, and it ended up being the only Thor movie that I actually liked. So
Thor was supposed to be comedic. He was super. If you read the comics, he was like a really weird character.
see, but I was
And
never really into the
Ragnarok
Thor
really-
comments.
Encapsulated that comic feel.
It was really
It
good.
really rejuvenated the character. It's so sad that all the movies couldn't have been like that. Marvel
Yeah.
didn't really have the foresight for that.
Either they didn't have the foresight, or they started it off, really grounded with Iron Man and everything else. Everything was very, oh, this could happen, this could be real kind of feel. And they didn't want to take it in a step of, ooh, what if we did a splash of pastel colors and it's really silly? They didn't do that at the time. The first movie where they had kind of branched out and made it a little stranger was Guardians. And after that was a success, they were like, oh, we can make a bunch of them like this.
When Guardians
But
came out,
literally
though,
printed money.
when Guardians came out, though, it was so different that I didn't originally know that they intended it for it to be part of the Marvel Universe. I thought it was its own separate entity the first time I saw it. And I'm like, oh, shit, they're all going to be meeting up later. This is fucking great. Like, this is the best thing ever. Although they haven't all met up quite yet. They're getting there. That's kind of
Well,
sad.
are they getting
That'll
there?
be a really
Kinda gone.
expensive shot. Oh.
All right. Well, I guess since you guys did yours, I'll do mine. So Infinity War, I actually would probably give it about a 7.5 out of 10. And it's because it really it didn't like surprise me or super impress me in any way, shape, or form, but it was still a good Marvel movie nonetheless. Like it was still a good Marvel movie. As for my top 5, that's kind of a tough one. This isn't any particular order, but I know it would be Captain America Civil War would be in there. Black Panther, definitely. That was really good. Then here's the one everybody's gonna hate me for, because it would either be this one or the one I'm gonna mention next. It would be my number one.
Thor: The Dark World.
No, it's apparently even worse. Iron Man 2. I really liked Iron Man 2.
Oh.
I loved Iron Man 2.
Wait. Can someone tell me?
Whoa.
I knew
Wait.
this was coming.
Was there? I didn't even know there was an Iron Man 2. I thought
I
it
was
was
about to
1
say.
to 3.
I only thought there was a 1.
No, 3.
I didn't even know there was a
hated
3.
I hated 3 because they fucked up the Mandarin. It made me so mad. Like, it ruined the entire movie for me. It was stupid. Also, the ending was bad.
comic purist.
I
Yeah,
kind
I am.
of like 3.
But
I like
Get
the
out of
kid.
here.
I'm about to deafen the entire.
but here's the
server.
thing. Everybody said that Iron Man 2 was too hard to follow, and I was like, that's just two guys teaming up against Tony Stark to win.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's too hard to follow. I just think it's
It's
shit.
a boring
That's fine.
movie.
Like I liked it though. I could watch it over and over.
and
But-
it is fun. I mean, I haven't watched it for a few years now, but it's definitely not one where I was like, damn, I'm gonna give Iron Man 2 a rewatch.
Right, that's the thing though.
I
Like
rewatched
it's so controversial.
every
Everyone
Iron-
hates it, but I liked it. And then Iron Man 1 would definitely be on my list too. As for a fifth movie, it's kind of tough for me. It would probably be Age of Ultron.
What?
Yeah, I liked Age of Ultron.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
I think Age of Ultron's pretty dope.
Yeah, Age of Ultron.
I saw Age of Ultron 5 times in theaters. After the first 2, it's really starts to show its flaws.
Well, I mean,
What?
that's any movie you watch.
I get it.
Well,
But
I've since then watched it another 8 or 9 times. I've rewatched almost all of these movies, by the way, leading up to Infinity War, so I'm really fresh with all this. Iron Man 2 is probably the 3rd worst movie that Marvel's ever produced.
let's hear what the other 2 are.
Thor
I
1
bet.
and 2.
Oh,
Thor 1 and 2, and then Iron Man just right on top of that.
I wasn't
I've
like
seen
I was
Thor
expecting.
1.
I was expecting Dark World, right?
Wait, are
I
you
wasn't
including the
expecting-
Incredible Hulk in that? Because that one was also
Oh
really
Yeah.
bad.
man, yeah.
That was
I like
also...
the Incredible Hulk.
Okay, then
Incredible Hulk-
no. Hang on. If you like the Incredible Hulk, you shut the fuck up about Iron Man 2. Like you have no
No,
opinion
no.
anymore.
It's not received that poorly.
I didn't like it. I thought it was It was so boring.
There
Like,
was 2
I think
Hulk
it was a
movies
snore
that
fest for
came
me.
out like a year and a half from each of each other.
What?
One was the
No,
reboot to the other.
I think they're.
So
if my memory's correct, they have a much larger gap.
Edward-
Yeah, they do. They wait. Yeah, they do.
Edward, no, maybe it was 5 years. The Edward
There's a
Norton
big difference
one-
between 1 and 5 years.
It doesn't matter. People get them mixed up all the time. I found out the Edward Norton one
There's
was not
no
received
way.
that badly.
They're both really bad. I mean,
It was-
they both bored the hell out of me. And for a movie with a big green monster, it should have been better. Should've been
I mean,
better.
I still liked it. It's still better. Obviously, if we had a top 5 worst Marvel movies, it would definitely be on there. I just think it's better than Thor 1 and 2 and Iron Man 2.
Nope.
Okay, now as a hella hypothetical, and it has nothing, kind of to do with what we're talking about. If you had to lump the Amazing Spider-Mans in with the MCU as well, where would they fall?
Oh, that's a
The Amazing what?
the Amazing Spider-Mans. See,
Yes.
here's another controversial opinion I have. I liked those better than the originals. So, I
What
like
are
You
you-
like those better than
you
the
drinking?
original 3?
yeah, I like.
Yes.
I liked
Woo!
those. I liked Andrew Garfield as Spider. Now I could say that, I will never hate the, shoot, I can't remember Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I just liked Andrew Garfield better. I thought he did Spider-Man
I
better.
agree. I like the Amazing.
two are both wrong.
I don't think. I don't
They're
think.
wrong.
I don't think either of them are as. I don't know. Andrew Garfield's kind of tied with me for. God, what is his name? The new Spider-Man. I'm losing names now.
Tom Holland.
Tom
Tom
Holland.
Holland.
Yeah, I think they're about tied. I probably like Tom Holland
See,
just a little bit better.
I don't think they're tied. I think Tom he is like that's Spider-Man. That's him. There he is. Ooh, hello. Andrew Garfield is fun, and he fits that Spider-Man, right? But Tobey Maguire, I mean, yeah, as a kid and as the first, the first Spider-Man a lot of people were introduced to, he's fine. But after you get these other two, and after you maybe read some comics, after you watch the cartoons, you're kind of like, well, maybe not.
Well, if you're doing which one's more accurate, technically, we haven't really seen enough of not Tobey Maguire. God dang it.
Well, I don't mean
We haven't
accurate,
seen
but
enough of Tom Holland to see how accurate he really is. He's had one movie. Amazing Spider-Man, probably the most accurate, technically.
yeah. Again, I'm not necessarily hitting on like comic book accuracy so much as just like because they're all their own thing. Like how the Sam Raimi ones were like, ooh, I'm gonna have organic web. Like that's all fine. I mean, honestly, because I didn't read comics when that came out, I just thought that's what it was. So when I found out that that's not, he actually had web shooters, I was like, what?
Yeah,
You know, like
because of those movies, they actually changed that in the comics for a while.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not like I'm trying to hit like, page by page accuracy so much. It's just like, today, what's just more enjoyable, and like who can sell the character better, who can do like the key traits of a character better.
And I agree, but one of the big things is when it comes to Peter Parker, people often, at least with the Tobey Maguire version, forget that he's way smarter than they made him out to be in those movies, and the fact that he created with his limited amount of resources those webs in both the new one and Amazing Spider-Man kind of shows off how like smart he actually is. That's what I think, at least.
I also thought it was, I mean, just God bless the fact that the MCU didn't retell the origin again.
Oh my God, I know. Holy shit.
Like it's equivalent to Batman's parents being shot for the 50th time, which I mean,
They're dead.
I guess DC
We
has
get
to
it.
drill that into our head, but
Yeah, but I mean, Spider-Man's so well known now, it shouldn't matter. Everybody knows his origin. Everybody knows Batman's origin. Everybody knows Superman's origin. Just, I don't care. Like, not anymore. We all get it. They're great. We get all those. Mike, I don't want to hear it. I know what you're about to say.
I don't.
So Infinity War.
Right. So Infinity War. Back on the subject. Yeah. So, I guess we could talk about our gripes with the movie. My biggest one was actually the fact, and I know this is really stupid, that it didn't really, like, everybody dying. A lot of people came out of the movie kind of like crying and stuff. I didn't really have that problem because the way Doctor Strange explains it in the movie, even if you know nothing about comics or anything like that, they're all coming back anyway. So,
Yeah, because he was just, whenever Tony was just like, well, did we win any of those that you just saw? And, like Doctor Strange was just like, only one. And then whenever like Doctor Strange was like about to die, he was just like, sorry, Tony, this was the only way.
Yeah, okay, see, I'm not the only one that noticed that. That's exactly what I said on the way out of the movie theater. I'm like, well,
clearly the one chance that, or the one time they did win in his visions, Tony still was alive.
Right, Tony was alive. He knew they were all going to have to disappear. Because as soon as he, like, originally when Doctor Strange was like, oh shit, okay, don't kill him, I'll give you the stone, I was like, oh wow, okay, he might have changed his opinion. And he might have, kind of had one of those moral dilemma things that we've seen a lot in Marvel lately. But he, when he said, oh, well, no, this is how it has to be, or whatever he said when Tony, when he disappeared, I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess he didn't really change. The Spider-Man one, though, when Peter Parker dies, that's when everybody in the movie theater started, like, you could hear him sobbing.
Because, I mean, for one, it was the most drawn out. It was the only one where the character was given, like, dialogue of, wow, I can feel it, this fucking blows, like, and then it mirrors what was said in Homecoming, where Tony was just like, if you die, like, that's on me. Like, I feel like shit. Like, if someone dies, that's on you. If you die, that's on me. And, I mean, we know in Homecoming, oh, everything's fine. Oh, everyone lives. But then it comes to pass in Infinity War, Andy dies in Tony's arms. Like, ooh.
I mean, yeah, that was pretty good. He had one of those, but it shows that he's a child, like that Spider-Man's still a child, and that made it hurt worse. They had one of those moments in actual Spider-Man Homecoming when he's trapped under all the metal, and he starts freaking out and panicking, and like he regresses. He's like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. Somebody help me. And then, in this one, he shows you how, kind of immature he is and how scared he is. And then I think a lot of people related to that. So I'm gonna give Infinity War points for that. little kick in the balls before he died. But
Can we have a chat? Can we have a chat about how big of a pussy the Hulk is, though?
yeah, that really that seemed like more of a plot device than anything. Like, what's his deal? Like, is he scared of Thanos?
I mean, that's what I pieced together. Like, they fight at the very beginning. He literally gets fucking tossed, like his actual salad tossed out of his anus. And from that moment on, the only dialogue you get from the Hulk is no.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty
The
sure
Hulk
he
doesn't know fear. He learned fear in that moment.
Okay, fine. He learned fear in that moment. But the way he was portrayed in Ragnarok... Also, here in just a second, I want to touch on how Ragnarok was just a completely pointless movie because of the first 5 minutes of Infinity War. But we'll get to that. The thing about Hulk is, when you go back to Ragnarok, when he I guess tied with Thor, it really looked like Thor had the upper hand. But when he tied with Thor, he got kind of angrier in a sense. So you would think he would have got more powerful while he was getting his ass kicked by Thanos, and he would want to go for round 2.
But that was like a close fight, and him versus Thanos wasn't fucking close, bruh.
Right, it wasn't close.
Right. That's the point. The Hulk knows when the Hulk can't win.
But that's so fucking lame. Like, that's so bad.
I agree. Like, I was at least hoping, like, at the very end, maybe he would just, like, bust out of the Hulk Buster. Like, that would have been a nice scene, but it never came.
Well, everybody...
That's going to happen in Infinity War, too.
Everybody thought that the Hulk was going to be the one in the Hulkbuster suit. Turns out it was Bruce Banner, and I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoyed having. I really enjoyed Bruce Banner being in that
trailers
suit.
For this movie.
I don't really watch the trailers all that much anymore. I watch them once, so the movie doesn't get spoiled for me. They put too much in trailers now, so I don't really watch anymore.
So there was a scene where the gang that's in Wakanda is running towards something.
Okay.
With the Hulk in the trailer.
Really?
Oh, there wasn't there?
Is not in the movie. There's another scene, hold it, with the Hulkbuster that looks like it's being exploded from the inside, or it kind of implies that that's where it's going.
Well,
now I want to hold it. I want to mention that Infinity War Part 1 and 2 were filmed at the same time. Some of the scenes we might have seen in the trailer are from the Part 2, because we know possibly they're going to bring back these characters. But how would they do that in the Marvel way? They go back in time. They do what they did in Doctor Strange.
I actually have a couple theories on that one. How they're going.
But we'll get to the theory thing later.
Yep.
But that's my thing with the Hulk thing. I think we're going to see the Hulk in the next movie, just like we're going to see my gripe in the next movie as well.
Well, yeah, that's what I had heard. That's what I was gonna say. That they did they filmed them at the same time because everybody was worried that Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. weren't gonna be in the second Infinity War, even though their contracts were already up. So, but yeah, they were filmed at the same time.
Yeah, they filmed it as one movie.
I can understand they didn't want to put that out as one movie though. Holy shit, that was long. Like as is, it was pretty, it was pretty long.
Comes to one of my other gripes too. I have a few gripes, actually.
Well, real quick before we go on to your next gripe, so the one I was just talking about, so we don't forget it. I did not like how the movie started out. I really did not like that, where they were in the ship and all the Asgardians were dead, or I guess technically they would have kept half of them. I don't know how he did that, but they were all fucked over and dead and. They already lost, and they killed off Loki in like the first 5 seconds of the movie. Which
that did upset me.
I was
like,
fuck Loki.
I mean, but that did set the precedence for
What do you mean, fuck Loki? I want to see him meet the Guardians. I want to see like them interact. But the whole point of Ragnarok was the message of, it's Asgard isn't your home. It's the people that are that make Asgard. Well, now the people are fucking dead. Everything he fought for in that movie, everything that he achieved in that movie, literally just went to shit in this movie.
Okay.
He even got his eye back.
There needed to be a motivator for Thor.
Okay.
What would have motivated him more than the entirety of his people just saving them, watching them all die.
And I mean, to be fair, Thor is the one that, well, I mean, he didn't exactly win and end it, but he definitely
the
came
closest.
fucking close. Yeah.
I have
See-
a feeling him and Rocket are probably going to get really close because literally both of them have no one left at all.
Rocket's not going to be in
But-
the last Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
But you said
Then where is he going to? Wait, what?
He's going to be dead. Rocket will be dead in the next movie.
Excuse me?
what?
What?
I'll explain that later.
Okay, so here's the thing with what you just said, Mike, about how Thor needed a motivator. He was going to Earth to make that his new home. If Thanos was threatening Earth, wouldn't that been enough of a motivator to get him on his off his ass and doing things? Like he could have met the
No,
Guardians.
his
He could have met the
priority-
Guardians. That could have been the ship.
His priority was making sure his people get someplace safe. He's not going to put an entire ship of people in danger.
You're right.
He's not going to leave them out in space either.
He would go
by
to
themselves.
Earth. He would have. Well, here's the thing, though. They could have met
We don't know
ship.
that.
That ship at
That's
the
not
end of the
Thor's
movie.
mentality. Earth is only Thor's concern if Thor's on Earth.
Hang on, just hear me out. Well, no, he was already going to Earth, but he could have the ship that if the ship wasn't Thanos that he met at the end of Thor Ragnarok, it was the Guardians. He could have gone on his adventure with the Guardians. They could have gone to Earth. There would have then Thanos could have attacked Earth, and then he would have had his motivation. If he knew Thanos was coming, he would have gone for the axe anyway. Also, I just want to point out how great Peter Dinklage is in the movie. I just like Peter Dinklage.
God.
God, yes.
I was not like, oof. I mean, I just think it's funny that they were like, Peter Dinklage, let's make him a really, really big boy.
Honestly, I
No,
think Peter
but he's a
Dinklage was
big
really
dwarf.
down for that.
Like he couldn't even get that though. He was a big dwarf. Like he's still a dwarf. He couldn't get out of
That's
it.
what his name was credited as. Big Dwarf?
Big dwarf.
Or Giant Dwarf. In the credits, I'm sorry.
Oh god. I bet he's fine with that. Peter Dinklage is cool like that. But still, yeah, it was when he was in the movie.
Great cameo.
Megan immediately looked at me because we're big fans of Game of Thrones. She immediately looked at me and she's like, "Oh my god, that's Peter Dinklage," and I'm like, "Shut up, we're in the movie theater." I can't stand people who talk in movie theaters, dude. It drives me nuts. So when Megan does, I'm like, "Shh." We all have our moments, but I was like, "Shut up." Yeah, but yeah, okay, Mike. So, what is you said you had other gripes about the movie. We got through
I had-
mine.
A lot.
Okay, well, go ahead. Let's
I
hear
have
them.
a lot.
Let's hear them.
Okay. So, just for background, I go to see movies in the movie theater like twice a week.
Okay.
So I think the pacing was good like 80% of the movie. I felt there was some they were telling multiple stories at once, right? 3 stories basically at one time.
Right.
Sometimes they would switch from something that was a lot more eventful to something that was a lot less eventful very quickly without much of a cool down, right? So it was a little jarring at times, especially when you're trying to absorb all of this information a second ago, and now you're in a much slower scene trying to figure out the intricacies of this scene and remembering what led up to this.
Well, they just,
So
I could agree to that. They did a couple of those scenes in the movies. I think it was shoot, I can't remember exactly which one it is. I've only seen the movie once. It was when Thanos. Here's a big spoiler, by the way. When Thanos killed Gamora, when he killed her, and then it immediately went to a way like it kind of killed the moment after Thanos like flew off the cliff. It just kind of, I don't know, the next scene up. I believe the next scene was the one where they were doing the hammer, but it kind of slowed it down a bit, and it really kind of killed that for me. Just they need to play out. I know they got a lot to do. They need to run out the emotional sting to it though. I came out feeling emotionally drained, but I think it's because I had to keep up with so much stuff versus actually taking it all in. So I could agree.
yeah, which is so that leads to both the plus and minus of this next gripe, which is there was a lot to talk about, and I'm really thankful that they split it into 2 movies. But this movie still felt like there's too much going on. I get that there's a huge cast. There's a lot of people with a lot of contracts that demand certain amounts of times. But it became incredibly hard in some moments from my past viewings to keep up with everything. There was only a few moments where that was really a big issue, I think. And that kind of harkens back to the pacing. It just felt like there wasn't enough time for my brain to prepare for the next moment. That also might have been because every time I've seen this, I've been drinking. So who knows?
See, I didn't really have a problem with like the pacing or how much was crammed in there, but I will say there was a couple of things or a couple of events that happened where I was like, either it should have happened quicker, or I was just like disinterested because again another event was just far more pressing and important. So, in my opinion, I really was not fond of the whole
did a great
Wakandan
job.
battle.
Really, I mean, I get why you had an issue with it. It was kind of, it didn't really need to be needed. It was kind of a way to showcase Wakanda again.
It was trying to show that and just give it like a false scope.
Well,
like,
because you have to have Captain America doing something. And you have to have Black Panther, Captain America. They're two of the biggest sellers right now. They're two of the biggest names, especially Black Panther pretty recently. So they had to have them doing something. And I kind of agree that battle was a bit drawn out. They could have probably had them doing something else. But it led up to something. The payoff was good. Vision.
My payoff was genuinely when Thor showed up, because it just was like, wow, finally it's like something big is happening, because I mean he instantly just obliterated half of the army immediately.
He really did. Like Thor is probably way more powerful than he ever has been shown to be in previous movies now.
Yeah,
with his
that
axe.
was a little much.
Well, now he's really Thor.
Yeah,
right.
I didn't have a giant problem with the Wakandan scene.
My problem was that I just really wanted to keep fucking watching like all of them on Thanos when they were on Titan. I was like, oh my god, this is fucking like, oh man, they're fighting the big man himself. Like, what's gonna happen? And then we go back to fucking Wakanda, and I'm like, oh, the army that is really ugly and looks like the fucking things from Stranger Things, haha, and like two bad guys. Like, I don't care.
They could have done that better, though. The whole tension of the scene and the whole point of the scene seemed to be protecting Vision, which makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess they kind of needed the army to attract the more powerful people, like to get Scarlet Witch out of the room with Vision, because that would have been hell in a handbasket for just two of those people to contend with. She is kind of OP.
Yeah.
She
is OP.
She really
Let's
is.
not play.
He's an X-Men too.
Well, remember, she fucking... Okay, so that was probably like my favorite part about that whole battle, though. And Thor was great, but when she took those 4 big-ass blade car things and just kind of threw them on everybody, that was fucking great. I loved that. That made me happy. But yeah, the whole the payoff to that was Vision. I think they did okay. I do definitely agree that could have been a hell of a lot shorter. And the way they cut into it, it just kind of took away from other moments.
The only parts I think I really liked in that battle was Thor and then the Scarlet Witch. Like, anything else from that, I was just like,
they're doing shit. All right, we got Captain America, we got Black Panther. They're getting their screen time. You know,
I was also kind of a big fan of the double KO on Vision. Like, you think, oh man, they fucking did it, hell yeah. But I mean, I knew immediately as Thanos got there.
Yeah, he was just like, how hot
he's got the time stone.
Yeah, that was the thing though. As soon as he got the time stone, I'm like, fuck. And as soon as she blew up his little shard or whatever, or the stone in his head, I was like, yeah, now Thanos is about to get that shit back. But I like the way he did it, though. I loved Thanos. Thanos was phenomenal. Brutal. But no, I liked how he sympathized with Scarlet Witch. That was really cool. I enjoyed that. He wasn't just like some badass villain without emotions.
He only sympathized because he was like, haha, good try, but like you didn't stop me. Good meme, and then rewound time. Now, if she had succeeded and he didn't like if he didn't have a way to rewind time, he would have been fucking pissed and pile drived her ass.
Right.
But
I feel like he would have still gave the speech before he pile drived. Like, he would have been pissed. I feel like he still would have done like, he's like, I know your pain. I feel bad for you, but I have to kill you, bitch.
No. Because he killed Gamora for the fucking Soul Stone. If he literally lost the Mind Stone and had no way of getting it back, and he killed Gamora, So basically, his whole mission was like, it's done now. He can't do what he was planned to do. There would be no speech. It'd be well, your fucking eyeball is gonna be in the socket where the fucking Mind Stone would be. Like,
That was actually, you know what they should have done in the other Guardians and a lot in this movie. The person who didn't get the screen time that I think she needed for this movie to be just a little bit better and that impact to be just more was Gamora.
was Groot? Yeah.
No, it was Gamora. It was Gamora for me. I mean, she didn't. Well, right, Groot was there, but Groot. I get it. Groot was fucking great, but Groot is there.
I love Groot.
I fucking hated Groot.
No,
I
Groot
love
literally
Groot.
did.
Groot and
Groot had
Rocket
two
were so
things.
great.
Groot made the handle for Stormbreaker, and then when him and Thor showed up in Wakanda, Groot literally fucking impaled a whole fucking skewer of them, and I thought that was pretty neat. But that's like all he did, other than fucking standing around playing a video game saying "I am Groot."
Groot served almost no purpose in this movie.
Although
He could have been.
No, go ahead.
Why are you hating on Groot so much?
He really didn't though.
Beauty.
He really didn't though. He really did not serve much of a purpose. I have to agree to that. He did not.
I don't like Teen Groot. I don't like.
You don't like Teen Groot's okay.
I
He
don't
didn't
like
really
Teen
bother
Groot.
me.
I
Like,
thought it was a funny idea, but I think they should have used adult Groot here.
I
It
agree.
would have been a
Yeah,
lot
I
more
can agree to that.
emotional,
Teen,
and I
Teen
think that we
Groot,
would have had a lot more use.
Teen Groot having like a little scene at the end of Guardians too, like that's funny, and like we get the point, but it like he was that whole thing throughout this movie, and
But you have to
I wasn't a big
understand.
fan.
Teen Groot is more marketable. That's why they used him. I mean, let's be
He
honest.
is not more marketable than little baby Groot.
No, he isn't. But
Nothing is better than.
they
Baby
got to
Groot.
be able to make him Big Groot in the next movie somehow.
I mean,
Well,
I understand. but
Unfortunately, they have to replan a Groot again. That
No.
shit ain't coming back.
But there is no Groot. He's gone. Like he dissipated, so they couldn't do that.
Oh,
Yeah, so there's
Oh,
no
yeah.
more Groot. But yeah,
We'll come back to
also
that
something
later.
I would like to mention real quick is one of my favorite shooting parts, like in the Wakanda battle, was when Rocket and like was being like kind of tossed around by Bucky, and they're kind of in that like the
Yes.
little circle thing. That was cool. Rocket is hands down my favorite Guardian, and he made me happy in this movie. Like I love him.
it's
to death.
unfortunate he'll be dead.
Probably, and I'm
Why
sad.
do you?
My poor
why
little
do-
bunny.
I'm gonna.
He will be dead.
Yeah.
I have a very high degree of certainty here.
Stop spoiling the next movie, Mike. God, I didn't promise no spoilers for that movie. Jeez. Fuck. Yeah.
Oh boy.
But yeah, no,
Do
I
have
think
something to tell you.
but I think Gamora should have gotten more screen time. I really think she should have.
Honestly, I hated every scene she was in.
Really? Really? I like her.
What did the Guardians do to you, man?
What have they
Uh,
done to you?
You're
I've
just
wanted to see
like
the Guardians in the Avengers for a long time, but I honestly,
they just didn't live up to my expectations, so they could all burn in hell.
Fuck
Honestly,
Gamora.
it
Good.
felt
Throw her
like
off
they,
that fucking cliff. I don't give a shit.
they how do I'm afraid of what everyone's gonna say here.
Oh, you better
Um,
be.
Oh.
No, go ahead.
All of the scenes with them were most of the scenes that I had
Fucking
problems
sucked.
in the movie. Just about every single scene, because it felt like all of those scenes were dragging on way too long.
God, do you fucking eat paste?
The scene with Gamora, Thanos, and the rest of the squad, they just show up there to preempt Thanos. I don't know. I didn't enjoy that.
I think
Really?
the
How
only
did you
scene
not
that-
enjoy that? That was so cool. I get it, like Gamora didn't make that scene,
I've seen
Thanos
it.
did, but it's
Well, I've read
so good. Like he's like, oh, by the way, I've already changed this reality. You didn't actually kill me, and now I have you. Like that was really cool. It showed that he had.
So,
It was
hey,
an inventive way to show he had the stone.
So you brought up a good point that you probably didn't, I guess, mean to bring up. Is I read it, but you have to remember the large scale audience that's watching this did not read it. Like I
Yeah,
understand.
and I mean, I get that.
Also, Mike,
So-
a lot of the things in the movie have been changed. I've read it was forever ago when I read the comic.
Well,
the,
I mean,
the series this was based off of, but they did take some liberties. It wasn't exactly the same. It was close.
Well, so a lot of the stuff in the movie were ripped from different comics.
Yeah, I
over
mean,
time.
it has to. It
They
has
aren't
to
just
be
things
from other
that-
comics,
Well,
Yeah, it's not just from the Infinity Gauntlet or like
and they have to
the
replace
other.
characters.
Yeah, and they have to. Yeah, because they don't have the X-Men.
Yeah.
It's not just that I've read it, but I didn't think most of my pacing issues with the movie were the Guardian scenes, because they all came after such more impactful scenes or things that felt more useful to the movie's plot. Those scenes all just seemed like they were there in addition to include the Guardians in a story that really
they're-
didn't necessarily need them until the end.
Well, their inclusion. I mean, I get what you're saying to an extent. The whole reason they are there is solely to fucking dangle Gamora off a cliff. I mean, that's really it, because that's the only thing that truly affected what Thanos got.
Which actually, good point though. I think they did a really good job in this movie of making Thanos into an actual character. They've teased him for 10 years, but they actually made Thanos have a purpose and a fearable reason why they needed to defeat him.
no, Thanos.
It wasn't just all of the plots from before. Thanos was able to strike fear in viewers and in the Avengers throughout the movie, and you could actually see the fear on these people's faces.
Well, I mean, again, he set that tone at the very beginning when we were like, oh, fucking shitting on Hulk, because again, he fucking literally mollywopped.
I
him
thought that entire
out the
scene
gate.
was the exact thing the movie needed to set the tone.
It
They
did.
needed to tell us that they were not afraid to let people die, and they did that by
God.
killing one of the fandom's biggest characters.
They're
Loki.
afraid to let people die, dude. They're
And
not
they
gonna
will
do
not bring Loki back.
Yeah, no, Loki.
No,
Loki's
that's-
going to stay
that.
dead.
That's fine.
And so are most of those Asgardians.
That's
Or
okay.
I,
But Thanos, getting back to he's got to be either first or second to me for favorite villain in Marvel. Marvel has a really iffy time writing villains. Thanos was to me. Thanos seemed like they took Ultron and amped it up to like 11, where he has the like they tried to make you sympathize with him, and it worked in some scenes. You sympathized with him, and they did that better than Ultron. But he also managed to be menacing. And to be honest, the movie should have been called. It should have been. I've seen a lot of memes with this, and I didn't get it until I watched the movie. It should have been Thanos, the movie. Like, it was about him. It was about his quest. And everything that was relevant in the movie revolved around his quest.
Honestly, you know what? That would have been a good idea. Before this movie came out, they should have did a movie with just all of these scenes with Thanos, building him up as a supervillain, and have him destroy a planet at the end to let us see how big he is. Like they have with the Thanos comics.
Again.
And then bring us into Infinity War with this idea that we've seen Thanos do some shitty shit, and then get to see him against the Avengers.
But I don't think that would strike as hard, you know? Like, this is our first glimpse at him, and he's already fucking ruining these characters that we thought were just big and mighty. So, like, Thor didn't matter at the very beginning. Granted, no weapon, but who cares? Hulk gets fucking thraxed, and he kills a whole fucking ship and Loki, and he only had technically one stone, because he had just gotten the other one from Loki. So one stone, and he just fucking obliterates the two strongest characters, right? Like, wow. Like, oh fuck, we're at the very beginning, he just beat the two strongest. What are we gonna do? And only has one
I still
stone.
agree. I still agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
That scene literally set the tone for the whole movie, and that scene needed to be justified. And to justify that scene, we needed a whole movie about it. And that movie did a great job of making us care about some of those people.
I can agree to that. I still don't like that it was towards the beginning of the movie and it kind of killed Ragnarok.
Well, how else?
But it just
So-
kind of, it still kind of made Ragnarok feel a little bit irrelevant to me. Like, it just like the movie was good, and I wouldn't have it any other way. When it came to Ragnarok, it just still felt like everything that they worked so hard to accomplish in Ragnarok was for nothing. And I guess that might be a good thing. It just to me it didn't hit me right.
Yeah, think about it, and like, I mean, you said you watch Game of Thrones, but like, good lord, you know how many things in Game of Thrones are you like, oh hell yeah, and then it's immediately fucking cut short.
Right, I agree. And you know,
And you don't feel bad about it. You're like, well, fuck that. I mean, It's a good story.
I think the
you know,
reason
point.
why it's different here, though, is because these are multi-hour-long movies that they're making you pay to see in order to justify 5 minutes.
Well, I mean, I get that, but again, an episode of Game of Thrones is an hour long, and it could take the whole season for something to build up, and then the very beginning of the next season, that shit was just fucking cut.
Oh, I agree.
I think that's a great idea. Honestly, I think it was a great thing that they invested the audience and the people that were immediately dead at the beginning of the movie, because that rewarded people who are loyal to the franchise with another way to express sorrow.
It also kind of threw you off guard a little bit. Like when you start up the movie, you go straight into like everybody's dead. Like, and that's fine because it was a long movie. They really had to start it like that. Like, I understand that. I get that. But like when you're used to Marvel, building this up, like people don't just die at the beginning of the movie. The movie usually starts out really lighthearted. This movie's like, nope, we're just gonna throw death at you for 3 hours. Deal with it. And I'm like, oh, okay.
And that's what I like.
Vision.
Because
Dying
they just wanted to set like, hey, this is really important. This is what you've been waiting for 10 years. This is what all of this is built up to. And good Lord, this is the big man in charge. He's the reason a lot of the stuff has happened. And this is why. And he literally starts the movie off by killing a whole ship, ruining characters that you already know. And then it just goes from there. And then, of course, we start getting our stories split up.
Yeah. Whoa. That was windy. Yeah, I guess. It was still a little bit disorienting to me. And I'm not going to hate it. Like, I don't hate on it. It was kind of a gripe that I had that you just kind of went in and did that. And it's not going to be one of those things that, like, I'm going to hate on later. Because I understand why they did it. I get it from a narrative point.
I would definitely be more jarred if it happened in, if Ant-Man 2 fucking started like that. I mean, I genuinely would be like, whoa, hold the fuck.
They killed Ant-Man and Ant-Man 2.
I really would be, thrown off. But because of what it was, I expected that.
Oh yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to assume for now that Hawkeye and Ant-Man are alive. They weren't in the movie. I totally forgot about that until just now.
The way I assume it's probably going to be is Ant-Man might take place, slightly before Infinity War.
I think that's already been confirmed. I'm pretty sure it's been confirmed. That would be interesting though to kind of like tie in the events of Ant-Man right as Infinity War is happening, and at the end of the movie have him like disappear
And
like that.
I mean, I don't know if this is like a Super Saiyan spoiler, because a couple of more set photos of Captain Marvel dropped. And I didn't know this, but I'm going to assume it takes place in the past because apparently there's like a super young Samuel L. Jackson.
How much do you know about Captain Marvel?
Not cunt. I've only seen these set photos.
All right, so I'm a big Captain Marvel fan. And that's why I'm so excited by that post-credit scene. So this movie is going to take place in the 90s.
That's pretty cool.
This is going to precede the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That's not true. It doesn't come before Captain America: The First Avenger, you idiot.
Captain America: The First Avenger ends with him being in more present day. But this is going to be what sets the tide for S.H.I.E.L.D. and everything else. So Nick Fury is going to find Captain Marvel, basically, along with his whole debauchery of people.
Wait, are they still going to have Samuel L. Jackson playing Fury?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so is
stuff, like how
like young
what's
Tony?
his name from the first Avengers that died? I forgot his name.
From the first
The
Avengers?
special agent.
Oh, Coulson.
Yeah, Coulson's going to be in there too.
Well, Coulson came back to life somehow, didn't he, in S.H.I.E.L.D.? I never watched the show, but I'm pretty sure he came back to life.
Yeah, he's in S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he wasn't dead.
Yeah, so he's going to be in that movie too. But so this is taking place in the early 90s. She gets captured by an alien race, gets powers. That's what I'm going to say on that.
I was about to say, like, damn, dude, spoilers. This movie's not even out yet.
And the origin story, though.
Yeah, so there's a particular army of people that she fights.
Why is it the scrolls?
Yes,
Is it really?
It's the
Yeah.
Yardrats. Instant transmission.
that's
bitches.
actually you saw her outfit, right? It was like green and black.
Yeah.
Those are their colors. So it's theorized that the story in this movie might be that she's captured by them, trained by them, and is given powers by them.
So she's the Green Lantern Corps.
And then, kind of,
No, those are the
Um,
Novas.
yeah, Nova Corps. So that's what this movie's possibly about. That's one of her origin stories too. She's supposed to be a fighter pilot, and she's kidnapped out of her plane because she has
Are we sure this isn't
better
Green
than
Lantern?
average. I mean, they happened around at the same time, I believe. I believe Green Lantern came out around the time Captain Marvel did.
Captain Marvel didn't get popular though until she was in the new Avengers. Yeah, she's really
Yeah,
popular.
well, Captain Marvel started off as a guy.
Yeah,
She got popular as a girl when they changed her.
probably for the best.
Yeah, I mean, she's great.
I haven't read her comics yet. It's on my long list of shit I have to do.
Yeah, so that's really significant though, because that gives us an idea as to how Infinity War Part 2 is going to work. If she's being included, which
I'm sure she
the
is.
post-credit scene very much
Yeah,
implies.
She
Yeah,
is.
There's no way.
Because
they
she's
wouldn't.
so she's the only character that's been able to, well, depending on which version of the comics you're reading, to defeat Thanos. She comes in and saves the Avengers. So that's what's obviously going to happen. How she brings back everybody, or how everyone's brought back, is I think where the speculation's going to be.
Well, the
Uh,
other speculation is, what other characters will, because we lost half this current cast. What other
So,
characters will jump in? So we know Ant-Man. We assume Hawkeye. We know Captain Marvel.
Well, yeah. There's
So
a lot of different
Ant-Man-
ways it's
Here,
being speculated.
just some 2 cents for Ant-Man. The new Ant-Man movie takes place just slightly before this happens, and I think
Oh, I know.
during the time that it
Yeah.
happens. And it's going to lead into Captain Marvel.
That's pretty cool. Well, that's probably
From
why
what
they're
they
releasing the
said.
door. Well,
And Hawkeye being gone is also supposedly because of Captain Marvel. Now, there's a rumor that they might also be using like the Secret Wars storyline for part of Captain Marvel, which would involve cloning characters and disguises and shit with the Skrull army. So there's a chance that might be what Hawkeye's up to, because Captain Marvel might have decided to off him.
Oh.
That's a possibility. I don't know how they're gonna make Hawkeye relevant in the next movie. Like, he wasn't in this movie at all, which makes sense when they'd explained it. But what could he possibly do?
well,
He's even said that he's useless, and unless he's contacting Captain Marvel on behalf of Fury for whatever reason, I don't really see what his purpose is. And I don't really know what Ant-Man's going to do either, other than maybe his quantum time
Look,
jump thing.
here's the thing.
He might do that,
All he-
which would be cool.
All he has to do is shrink down, crawl into Thanos' ear, and unshrink. I mean, like, it's.
he did
this
say go for
guy-
the head.
Like, it's
That's
just
a
no
little bit
brainer.
literal.
Exactly.
I
mean, like,
No-brainer.
we could finish this movie pretty quick.
Hawkeye, though, the one thing that he's really only been good for in the movies so far has been that he has been kind of the glue that, at least that's how he's been portrayed, the glue that holds the Avengers together. Kind of all went to hell when he picked a side, but But yeah, that's pretty much the only purpose he served up until this point. But they're probably going to bring him back. I would hope so, because at least I don't really hope so. I don't really care. I like him, but I really don't care, if we're being honest. But they're probably going to bring him back because to the fans, to a lot of the fans, he is pretty important. Not like, the new characters like Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America important, but to fans, he's about as important as Black Widow is. So they brought her back. Although Scarlett Johansson, I think they're always going to have in the movies.
Well, yeah, she's related to S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, she's related to S.H.I.E.L.D., and she was kind of the first thing that tied the Marvel universes, or the movies together, besides an end credit scene with Tony Stark. So
I think that she'll definitely come back.
I can't actually remember. Did she survive or did she die?
She survived.
She
She
survived.
survived?
Yeah, it was just OG Avengers
know what?
basically, and then
She's not gonna
Rocket
come back.
and Nebula.
So here's my thought. And there's
Your
been some
thought.
consensus on the internet, as well as some comics that have backed up this theory. Everybody that is alive will not be alive next movie. They're not going to stay alive. Everyone.
I knew
Rocket
it.
will die, and he will stay dead. Nebula, of course, that she's a throwaway character, and all the other Avengers will be dead. Any other movie that comes out following, which the only one that's in the pipeline is the Black Widow movie, is going to be a prequel or an origin story.
They're gonna set up for the new Avengers, aren't they?
Well, so Captain Feige already said that.
Huh. That's
Feige announced during I think it was D23, that Spider-Man 2 comes out as the third movie next year. So it's Captain Marvel, a month later Avengers, and then Spider-Man is the start of the new Avengers.
Spider-Man is okay. So yeah, he's gonna be Iron Spider. That's most likely what he's gonna do. And then
And Captain Marvel's going to take on the next mantle.
Falcon's
White
probably
Wolf.
gonna end up being Captain America. Then
I don't
not
know.
Falcon.
It's probably Bucky.
Well, no, Bucky won't, because Bucky's going to be White Wolf.
Bucky, I was
That's
gonna say
it.
Bucky's already been confirmed as White Wolf.
Yeah. So he will be White Wolf, and Falcon will probably be the next Captain America.
Yep. And then well then wouldn't that make us, if they're trying to do the new Avengers and they don't want Robert Downey Jr., that means the new Avengers would have to have Iron Spider or Ironheart, which I don't think they would do. They haven't even talked about her.
They don't have Ironheart.
Yeah, so it's probably, well, that's what I'm saying. So it's gonna be it's probably gonna, well, they didn't really do much with Iron Spider in the new Avengers either, as far as I know.
That's
it
the
was
point.
superior
This is
Iron
going
it
to
was
be-
superior Iron Man.
This is going to be different, but the new mantle and the new lead will be Spider-Man.
Yeah, they also
And
can have
Captain
Lady
Marvel.
Thor because the hammer's gone.
So that's what. So Feige said that that Spider-Man would be the start of the new Avengers, kind of the same way like the Iron Man movie was the start of this last 10 years. So
Are they
we
gonna
don't
do
know what other characters they'll bring. I'm sure we'll figure that out when we get there.
So wait,
But
you're
those are
saying
the
they're
movies-
they're going to be starting for another 10 years of Avengers?
I mean, we
They
don't
already
know if
announced-
it's necessarily going to be a 10-year.
Like, but they want to
They
do
announced
more.
today. They announced today that they've already started meetings planning out 2014, 15, and 16.
Jesus Christ.
No. 20,
I got what you were saying.
25, 26. Sorry,
I got, for
And
some
then-
reason, when you said that, I thought the years you were saying.
we all thought the same thing.
Yeah.
So they've already started planning, 8 years out.
Jesus. Okay, so that brings up another question. Do you think that the Marvel Universe should kind of end with a new Avengers movie, or even before that, or do you think it's something that should continue? Just kind of quit while you're ahead, kind of thing. While it's still good, end it while it's good.
No, I don't think that they need to end it or anything like that. I think that if they do like what the comics do, right? The comics do a reset.
Yeah, it'll have
Every
like some
5
sort
or
of
10
reboot,
years.
and that
So that's
reboot
what they're
gives
gonna
them
do
an
with it.
opportunity to recast and not feel guilty about it.
Like a
For
new Iron Man.
10
or
years.
something like
Yeah.
that.
So they
Yeah.
just cast everyone for like 10 years, and then they reboot in a big entourage superhero movie like they do in the comics, and then they introduce new variations of old characters or new characters that they've attained rights to that they didn't
Yeah.
have prior.
So that could be.
So it's
how
like
they
the
could-
X-Men would be potentially included in the next several phases.
Well, yeah, Disney
Um,
owns them now.
No, well, not yet.
Yeah,
They haven't.
that's
They
not
haven't approved that deal
fully
yet.
through.
Really? I
Yeah,
thought they.
we won't know. No. So when they announced it, it takes litigation. I believe they said it was 8 to 12 months from the date of the announcement for the confirmation to happen. and then the assets to start being absorbed by the new entity. So we basically probably won't know until the end of December, possibly, if this is actually happening or not.
Part of me hopes it
And then
does,
once they
part of me
announce
hopes
that,
it
then they
doesn't.
can start filming movies.
That's pretty cool. All right, that
Yeah, so
I don't know. I'm kind of on the opposite opinion. I think it's one of those that once they finish off with kind of with Infinity and they kind of settle things down a little bit, I think it should just kind of end there. But that's just me. I there's a lot of situations, especially with shows that I really like and things like that, where it just goes on too long and it just kind of kills it after a while.
the comics do the same
understand.
thing.
But yeah, the whole reboot thing is what helps. So, I mean, they could either revisit something they've already done, like how, we go from the Sam Raimi stuff to the Mark Webb ones with OG Spider-Man and Amazing, where we see the same characters just in a different way. But we could also get different characters in a reboot. Like, we'd never seen the Vulture of any kind before, and then we see him as the first villain in the MCU version. Well, if there is a reboot and they recast Tom Holland, or if they went with Miles Morales in a reboot, I mean, they could just...
Miles Morales was hinted at in the Spider-Man: Homecoming, so it's possible.
Yeah.
That would actually be
Yeah,
pretty
and I
cool.
think
Make him the new Spider-Man, since Peter Parker's obviously going to be Iron Spider. So
They've already started laying the groundwork in some of these last few movies, like with references like that as to who these characters might turn into later or who they might bring into the fold. And Feige was talking about in an interview that they said when they look this far ahead, they like to drop little bits of information that may potentially reference something in the future. And they said that if it doesn't pan out, then it's just a cool reference. But if it does pan out, it'll connect the way that the movie needs to cinematically do so. So they've had a lot of forethought into these movies, strangely. I think it's going to be cool doing multiple iterations of it like comics, because that'll give new fans a gateway, right?
Yeah, there's
and that'll give
constantly
every
fresh
generation
jump on points.
something new and cool to jump to, and they'll be able to easily bring in new, more common things that we see more in our day-to-days.
that would be
right?
a safe
Or
bet.
things
too.
that are more socially acceptable.
Make Miles Morales the new Peter Parker, kind of have that younger superhero vibe
Because
going on.
I just don't think we could, because I don't think Marvel movies are gonna stop, at all, because it's just it's free
It
free
makes too
money.
much money.
Yeah,
Almost all of these movies end up in the top 15
yeah, it's
best-selling movies.
it's literal free money to them, but I don't think they could continue without having a universe, right? Because standalone, I mean, maybe in a franchise, so it could continue as just Spider-Man's or just Iron Man's or whatever, maybe. But you couldn't just have that one shitty Green Lantern movie and be satisfied, because, I mean, why would you? Because we're just so used to humongous crossovers, because it's gotten to the point now where, in Thor Ragnarok, well, fuck, here's Doctor Strange. Oh, there's the Hulk.
but
it
it wasn't out of
fleshes
place,
it out.
though.
Yeah. It fleshes it out, and it makes it feel like, I don't know, you feel like all these characters are connected, and it just gives it a larger scope, and it feels like you're actually absorbing a grand story, just spaced out amongst multiple movies. And I just feel like that's a better way to absorb this sort of medium for comic book adaptations.
But do you think that people are going to get burned out on this eventually? A lot of the people who watch the Marvel Cinematic Universe actually aren't comic anything. They don't really read comics, and that's fine. That's no problem with that. But do you really think
you're
they're going
right.
to keep with it?
But
Uh,
yes, because it converts them to read comics. So I want you to know, I haven't read the Infinity Gauntlet. I went to go order it on Amazon. It's sold out right now. It literally skyrocketed to #1 bestseller.
I would say unless you find the graphic novel, good luck. That shit got expensive.
Oh yeah, no.
So-
I mean, it's just the graphic novel version.
Yeah,
because I was just gonna buy it because it was only $15, but it's sold out right now. and it's the #1 bestseller on Amazon, and that's proof enough. Like it's just shot up. People
a pretty good
bought
point.
it because of the movie.
I think
It'll
that
hurt people.
even if people get burnt out, I mean, there's always more children, and it's cynical and dark.
That's not.
There's always the
New kids
children.
come along all the time,
Right.
and they will see this and they'll want to watch it. Kids that are growing up, their siblings that really enjoyed it and talked about it, even if they speak negatively of it, younger siblings or family members or other kids that hear about these things through words of mouth are going to want to go see it. It's like Star Wars. There's a whole generation of people that didn't grow up with Star Wars and started with these movies just because they heard about it.
It is kind of cool
See,
that
but-
we lived in the generation that started this trend, though.
But
We didn't live in the generation that started Star Wars.
No, I'm talking about the MCU and superheroes getting.
well, like
Like,
Star
That's
Wars.
so cool about
constant-
it right now, though.
Star Wars is a little different because they all thematically are the same and they go sort of chronologically. The thing about superhero movies that makes it stand out and why I don't think people will get burnt out is superhero movies themselves aren't a genre because there's so take Thor Ragnarok, right, and put it next to maybe Doctor Strange, or put it next to, I mean, it's not even in the MCU, but Batman v Superman. Wow, these are two very different movies, but they're still quote unquote superhero movies. There's so many different things that people could watch. There's there's Kick-Ass. I mean, there's just so many things that they can be.
A lot of source material they can pull from. A lot of different heroes.
There's so many different characters, indie heroes, big money heroes, and then each hero has its own, or each story falls under a certain category, whether it's a comedy, whether it's incredibly dark and gritty, whether it's a happy medium, whether it's just a fun action-y thing. They can fall under so many different things. They might get burnt out of the fucking 10-year-long universe building, maybe, but the only time that really comes into play is during like big king movies like Avengers. But if they're just looking to focus on one character, they just have to go watch Spider-Man, and then 3 years later they watch the next Spider-Man.
That's the thing. It's all about having options. There's plenty of people that only want to see Spider-Man or only want to see Iron Man, but those big team-up movies entice people to watch other movies. They like the characters enough, like the Guardians. They really enjoyed seeing the Guardians until they died, so they want to go watch the other Guardians
Until
movies.
they died.
I tell you, everybody's coming back.
So,
right? The raccoon.
Okay, fair enough. So first, I just want to touch on one thing really quick before we get to the theories, the future theories. Red Skull is in this movie. I thought they were done with him. I was pretty
they
happy
weren't.
about that.
Because the Tesseract transported him to a different planet, dimension, world.
It's great. It's great. I love it.
And when I watched that first Captain America again a couple of weeks ago, I told everybody I watched that with that he's not dead, he will be back, and he was, and I got to say I told you so.
Well, yeah, but
So fuck all y'all who didn't believe me.
Well, here's the thing, though, is not a goddamn soul pieced that together when the very first Captain America came out.
No one.
No one.
There was no theories on it, no anything, and that was pretty cool. I
everyone-
loved it.
To everyone, Red Skull, and I mean, I haven't rewatched Captain America, the very first one. I've only seen it once, and I saw it in theaters. So, I mean, I'm definitely not fresh on that. I barely remember anything about it. I didn't.
It's
even remember
garbage.
the Red Skull.
It was
Red
pretty bad.
Skull was a highlight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he was the best thing about that movie. One of the better villains.
Well, when I saw him in Infinity War, I was like, hot fucking shit. Like, I thought he was just gone.
It's not the same actor, by the way.
I kind of figured.
Yeah.
But
The original guy said he would never play the character again.
Oh wow, that bad, huh?
Yeah, he absolutely hated it. So they got a guy that was only famous for impersonating that same actor,
That's fucking
play him.
genius.
and it worked.
I bet he's got fucking moolah now. And I bet he regrets
Oh.
that choice now.
Oh yeah.
The second you show up in a Marvel movie, you're fucking rich. You got deals lined up for years. Peter Dinklage is going to be the new tall person in every movie going forward.
Okay. So
I just think it's funny that so many of these actors are crossing over. Like, that they are in the MCU now, but they originated in, or maybe not originated, but they were easily in like the X-Men universe.
well, they're throwing and a little off topic, but they're throwing Emilia Clarke, the lady who plays what is it, Daenerys, the Dragonborn. They're throwing she's in the new Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, Brooklyn pointed this out to me last night. Were you guys aware that Cable and Deadpool 2 and Thanos are the same man?
You didn't know who Josh Brolin was?
No, I'm
To
kind
be
of
fair,
sorry.
I knew that, but only because somebody told me. So
Yeah,
no.
I mean, I didn't piece that together until because she looked it up, and I was kind of hesitant. I was like, "Bro, what?"
Have you seen another movie that did something like that?
Oh my
Have you
god, that
seen
makes the
Alien
reference in the
Covenant?
trailer so much better. That makes the reference in the trailer way better.
Oh my god, how did you guys not know that?
I mean,
Oh.
I didn't piece it together because one is a CG fucking chin in purple,
Well,
and the
well,
other
what I was
one's
gonna
man.
say
Sorry, I didn't
another-
fucking piece to see the light.
another movie where that happens though. Have you seen Alien Covenant?
No,
Nope.
How about the Assassin's Creed movie?
no, because
I don't watch
think
trash.
the games are shit. Yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
So Michael Fassbender is the guy that's in those movies.
Need fast
in-
bend over.
He's in a lot of movies. He plays Apocalypse, giant blue alien guy.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy transformation.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I'm the only one that's interested in that, other than my home pod. Apparently,
I get
thanks,
it.
guys. I thought it was just a funny known fact too, but
Hopefully
No.
there's somebody watching this that thinks it's funny, but
that
besides that,
that
no.
thinks it's great too. To make me
Yeah.
feel better about myself, validate my opinion.
Validate his opinion in the comments below if you made it through an hour and a half of this jambalaya.
We bet, yeah. Oh my god, we've been
God.
going on
Oh,
for
yeah.
an hour and 20 minutes.
We
So
do.
we gotta start wrapping this up.
All right.
Theories!
So here we go. It is now time to talk about our theories.
Fortnite.
Swear to God. For the future video, what do we or future video future what's gonna happen? How is everybody gonna come back? And what's gonna happen in Infinity War 2? Mike, you've done a lot of the theorizing so far, so I'm actually gonna let Daddy go first and see what she has to say. She hasn't been talking for a little while.
The Guardians of the Galaxy comes back.
That was
Rocket gets a 5-foot cock.
What?
Brooklyn, you gotta theorize.
You gotta-
How you
What do you
how
think's
you
gonna
think
happen in the
everyone's
next
gonna come
movie?
back?
I bet she fell
I
asleep.
don't.
I bet she really hasn't thought that far ahead. I mean, to be honest, I really haven't tried to theorize that far ahead.
I don't
I'm 10
know.
years ahead.
Well, let's hear
Obviously,
yours.
something has to happen to where they go back in time and fix
Yeah.
shit.
I mean, we
I knew
we know it has to happen solely because the Spider-Man 2 is confirmed, so we know that my dear sweet baby boy is not gone for good.
I mean, I have a feeling that Loki's gone for good.
Now,
By the
yes,
way,
there are some.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was confirmed. So just to kind of give you an idea, some of the characters do have to come back.
Not now.
I don't see how they could kill off Rocket. Like, that's one thing that I don't.
Rocket's died so many
listen,
times.
listen,
I
really.
I don't know, man. Like, I just think too many people like him. Like, you feel me?
Rocket dies just as much as Groot.
What?
Look,
But like,
listen, I feel
I
you,
feel like
but
they-
they can easily kill a tree over killing a raccoon. Like, you feel me?
I don't see that because I just feel like too many people like him, and like without him, it would be weird. I don't know who's gonna make the sassy comments.
Genuinely,
He
I
wasn't
feel
even in
like
all.
So you
Listen.
think that he's not going to die? You think they're
I
going
don't
to
think
keep him?
Rocket will. No.
I really don't think Rocket will either. I mean, I think they shouldn't.
Like,
but
I feel
think
like
they
if
might
any
leave
of them
all the
die, like,
Guardians.
I mean, I could see Nebula dying because I mean, like, who really cares about Nebula?
Yeah, I
Like,
could see Nebula
besides Gamora, like,
flipping the script. I don't think Gamora will stay dead, but I do think they'll, Nebula might like take the place or some shit. I'm sure Tony might die.
Um,
They're either
Anthony
going to die or have an
Russo?
ending.
One of the Russos said, either on Twitter or an interview, I will find the link and I will include it, that that some of the deaths in this movie are permanent and necessary.
Some of the deaths in this.
So
Well, we can pretty much confirm that none of
Vision
the
died
Vision.
twice.
none of the right. Vision's probably one
But-
of them, but
yeah,
any of the
Vision's
ones
gone.
that any of the ones that dissipated are probably coming back. So those are the ones that aren't necessary. Those are the ones that will be coming
I
back.
have a feeling that, I mean, I bet Gamora will come back. I'm sure the entire Asgardian ship is fucking done. Like, that's gone. Sorry, holler.
That
peace
definitely
out.
means Loki's not coming back. Though.
Yeah, no, I'm
Well,
pretty
Loki's
sure
not coming back
done.
because Thor's not coming back.
See, but like, here's the thing, right?
Their contracts ended with this movie.
Listen, here's the thing, right? Like,
Well,
I get it,
and
and
Infinity War
I
too.
listen,
Right.
like I get it, and I think your penis is really big, but like, what if Chris Hemsworth is just like, God, what if I just want to be Thor some more? Like, you feel me? Like,
Yeah, but does Disney want to really pay him more?
Yes,
God, they should after fucking like,
They make
If-
another Ragnarok. That's some good
Yeah, if-
money.
if Ragnarok was just as poopy as Dark World, no, they would not. They literally would have been like, all right, Mr. Hemsworth, we barely wanted to let you into Avengers 4, but considering we have to finish your character, here you go. But because Ragnarok was the goddamn big hitter, I think they would reconsider it.
I don't think Thor would die either.
You don't think Thor
Like
will die
I
either?
definitely I don't know. I definitely see Tony dying. I definitely see Captain America
Oh
dying.
yeah, no.
I can see Hulk
Peace
dying.
out to literally
Like-
both of them, sadly.
Like, but like I don't know, man. I just
And
don't see Thor.
We know they're not
Rocket,
scared
like-
to replace any of the Hulks, so like yeah,
Right.
he could be gone too. They're not scared to do that.
Well, they could make.
well,
They
it's
could
not
have
even a-
Hulk without Bruce Banner. They could
Edward
just have
Norton
Hulk
didn't
as
wanna
Hulk.
play the Hulk again. They asked Edward Norton to play him. He said no.
I thought it was because Edward Norton was a pain in the ass to work with. That's what I heard.
He said that he didn't want to play the character again.
He wasn't that great. That's fine. Bye bye.
I get it. Mark
The
Ruffalo's
script was horrible or something. Mark Ruffalo is great. No, Thor's going to die.
You just
Hey,
stop all
the
that nonsense.
The replacement is Captain Marvel.
No,
Okay,
no.
Is the replacement.
I need a thunder god with a big old weapon. I don't need no Captain Superman Marvel.
I feel that.
Well, here's the thing. They just because their contracts ended doesn't mean they necessarily have to die. It just means they won't be appearing in any more movies unless they do cameos.
Well, okay, how are they
That's
going to write these characters out then? If they write them out at the end of Avengers Infinity War Part 2, how are they going to bring them back other than doing prequels?
Well, I
Well-
mean, they could just do the whole. Well, look, guys.
If they
it's been
close the
fucking-
story on that character,
right, but you
they
can
have to
close
have
the
some-
story on a character without killing them.
so
Yeah.
here's my thing. They need to do something. If they want this to keep going like the comics, they need to do something from giving fans the idea that there's this ultimate weapon that's just not being shown in any of these other movies that could show up at any time. Right? You have to be able to build suspense for the new cast of characters. By keeping Thor alive, that would put any other supervillains that could possibly be beaten by Thor, that would make them moot. There'd be no point in building and investing in new characters.
Like-
because there's always someone else that can come in and just sweep up.
But
whatever
you
they
could
fight.
write
I-
It would
Thor.
be irrelevant.
I understand what you're saying, but like that's literally kind of like saying, "Oh man, Peter was having a little trouble with the Vulture, but Thor could have came in and fucking
Where the
sneezed
fuck
and
are
blown
you,
his
Thor,
fucking
man?
head
Come
off."
on, dude.
You know, like
I-
Thor could literally just like retire, essentially, be like, "Look, after all that, I'm
He
fucking
could-
done.
well-
I don't have anything. I'm gonna become a fucking Master Roshi
Well,
hermit,
so
like holler."
Here's my other theory, though. Can I just say that?
Let's go.
So,
Okay.
my first, just for context, the first theory was they're dead. People are dead.
Mhm.
The end.
Second theory, they're in a different dimension.
Yes, that's
That
the
could
one I was
also-
gonna do. That was the one that I was going to do.
They're in a different dimension, and they're going to split it like they did the
Yep.
comics. They're
The-
going to
the
have
next-
one run that's going to be the Civil War run, and another run that's going to be the New Avengers or whatever they call it.
Well, no.
And if they wanted to bring back the old characters, they can do that because they didn't kill them and they're in their own dimension. And they could bring the other characters over when they needed to because they have the different dimension.
Well,
But now let's first piece together the fact that you think people don't want to fucking deal with this 10-year shit. They're definitely not going to want split
No.
continuities.
That's well. So I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to stay dead. But
Here-
that's my. If Marvel doesn't want to kill the characters, That's where I think they're gonna go. But I think they're gonna kill the characters.
Well, no,
because
Mike, I think the dimensions are already split at the end of Infinity War.
Well, they were
that was
split
my
a long
theory.
time ago.
Well, no,
They
what
were
I
split
mean
the
is
second Doctor Strange showed up,
well, no, here's what I meant.
and Ant-Man.
I get it, but here's what I mean. I mean that when Thor, God dang it, Thanos killed quotation marks those people, he didn't really kill them. He separated the universe into two halves. Like he might think he killed them, or maybe he knows he didn't. But he separated the universe into two halves. Either that, or it's gonna be the time
kill
thing.
them, he's a really benevolent God, just like he keeps saying.
I think that the next movie might start out, and we're going to see like for instance, I can't ever remember her name. Who is the girl who hated having the wig on, and is really awesome, Black Panther lady? You know what I'm talking about? The one that was holding his hand when he dissipated. I can't remember her name to save my life. But in the other one, it's going to be Black Panther and all the other Guardians and stuff. They're going to be in their own universe, and they're going to be confused as to why. They're going to see it like the other people died. But the only thing that kind of puts a kind of hitch in that theory is the fact that Peter Parker kind of had his moment. Like, this is the only thing that could kind of put a wedge in that theory. Like, everybody else...
And they're very likely not to have memory of just the last couple of seconds as they started dissipating.
See, that could also be it, and they could
remember,
all be confused.
If it's an alternate reality or dimension, it would have to have that split somewhere. So the moment he snaps his fingers is when it splits, and each side sees a different version of that 5 seconds.
Like where each of them
Spider-Man
die.
doesn't even have that moment. Instead, he sees Tony starting to dissipate, and he goes to say thank you or whatever. He has a different moment instead.
I think that might be how the next movie starts.
So the reason why this is a theory, though, is, again, it comes full circle to Captain Marvel. So she doesn't stay off-world for 20 years and magically not age. She is in a different dimension. Or, in one version, I don't remember if it was the male version or the female version, where these two things happened, by the way. So she goes to another dimension in one. And another one, the planet just has a different time system, and people's bodies age differently. So both of those two origins can support either of these two theories, though, which is what a lot of debate brings about when they bring in Captain Marvel to the idea of where Marvel's going to take these other movies now.
I mean, that would make sense, though. Be her and Doctor Strange.
So we have two ways that this can happen, though. So it's one of these two. I don't think Marvel's going to split it into multiple universes. I think they want to introduce it as an idea because they did with Doctor Strange. But I think that they even know that if they start doing different universes, they're going to lose a lot of their audience because it's so complicated.
No. I think it's going to be like a one-movie thing. Like, by the end, they'll be back together. And I think that Doctor Strange, and since what you've explained to me with Captain Marvel, they're going to be the two that bring them back together to fight Thanos. They're going to all have to figure out their way back.
Doctor Strange is going to be in the same dimension as Captain Marvel, though.
No, he wouldn't.
He would. Doctor Strange died.
Well, no, it's not that.
We have to assume that Captain Marvel is in the...
Yeah, Captain Marvel has to be in the regular universe because Fury dissipated and he sent the signal to her, which means she would be in the universe with Tony Stark. We'll just, for lack of, we'll say Tony Stark universe and Spidey universe because we know they're separated.
Universes don't matter to Captain Marvel.
Okay, but that's where she would be currently. She would be the one with her and Doctor Strange. They would have the ability to refuse these universes, bringing back all the people.
We just have to use like a little bit of logic and common. So the little beeper essentially that Fury clicked. We have to assume that's not we have to assume that's not planted into Captain Marvel's pussy, right? So like it's not like she sensed that anywhere. That device is not a cross-dimensional device. She got the message because she's in the current dimension.
Yeah, she's in Tony's universe.
So it is a cross-dimensional device.
No, that's what I'm saying. If
No,
it
it's
was
not.
a cross-dimensional device,
there's no way in hell
no way.
S.H.I.E.L.D. has a way to cross them. Like, they're pretty technology, they're fine. But unless they've been to Wakanda recently, there's no way. Even if they went to Wakanda recently, there's no way in hell they have
S.H.I.E.L.D.
different
knows about
dimensional
Wakanda,
technology.
though.
Right, but there's no way, even Wakanda...
S.H.I.E.L.D. also knows about different dimensions.
okay, that's fine.
Shield also knows about Doctor Strange.
But there's no, well, I would assume, but there's no way they have a device that could transmit a signal from one dimension to another unless somehow that device is magic. Like, that's the only way. I guess that could be possible, but the way it was implied at the end in that final cutscene, the credit scene,
It was literally just a pager.
yeah, it was a pager.
Yeah, well,
with Captain Marvel.
she's
symbol on it.
definitely in this dimension. Obviously, she's definitely in this dimension.
You mean Tony's
And I don't think
dimension?
they're gonna make it Tony's dimension. I
Okay.
don't think they're gonna
Thank
make it
you.
more
What?
complicated. I don't think they're gonna
So
make
then
it
why
more
did you
complicated.
try to start it
But I'm
off?
just saying. I'm just saying
I'm dead
it is
set on
a
this
plausible
guy.
possibility that
God.
this is actually an option for her
Well, there's a
because
lot.
it has been.
She sounds like a character where there's a lot of fucking options for, but I think this is the one that they're going with.
She's
It's
Superman,
the one that makes the most
basically.
sense.
She has all the same options.
No,
as
if
Superman.
she can travel through dimensions willingly, Superman can only do that when he has a little help from like a fifth dimensional imp or some shit. If she could do that on command, sorry, that makes her even more OP than Soups.
Oh, dude, you got to read the comics.
I'm very interested now. But anyway, yeah, no, that's
She's great.
I really think that the next movie, the first half of Infinity
She's also
War,
not weak to weird
um,
growing rocks.
the first half of the next movie is going to be them trying to figure out their way back together. And after they've accomplished that, they're going to beat Thanos. Because it would be a really shitty thing.
How do you come back together from the dead?
No, I don't think they're dead. I think they're in a different version of like their events. Like, it just Thanos didn't kill anybody. He just separated them. Why would he?
Oh, I did. I have a way to rationalize what you're saying.
No, well, why would Thanos tell them that they were dead? Or why would he not tell them that they were dead? They would search for the other universe to bring themselves back together. So his plan wouldn't work. If they
Let's
think
say they're not
that-
dead.
they're not dead.
Let's say they're not dead, and let's say they're brought back.
Okay,
Right? Okay.
I'm listening.
There has to be a way to do that, or maybe, how would they bring them back? Right. So you can make them go away with the Soul Stone, right?
Okay.
So, the next person that wields the Soul Stone, let's say the original group of Avengers killed Thanos. He's in his weakened state. Captain Marvel shows up. Everybody defeats Thanos.
Okay.
Then Tony Stark is tasked with the... How do I put that? He's tasked with the job of trying to figure out how to bring everyone back. In order for him to wield the Soul Stone, he needs to sacrifice something to be worthy of it. What if the price to bring back
He is not throwing Peter
the
Parker
other
over
half
a
of the
cliff.
planet?
Oh my god.
What if...
Oh my
No,
god.
he would throw Pepper Potts off the cliff.
Pepper Potts.
No, he
Bring
would
back-
not.
No, wait.
Population.
Wait,
No, let me finish.
boys and girls,
Let me
no,
finish.
I need you to repeat it because I walk away literally to get my phone for a fucking second, and the whole goddamn room is in an uproar. What did I
Michael-
miss in that
Mike-
second?
Mike said that Iron Man's gonna have to sacrifice something to get the Soul Stone, and I said no. There's no way he's throwing Peter Parker off a cliff.
So, they can't. They're not going to be able to turn back time because the only person who knows how to do that other than Thanos with the Time Stone is Doctor Strange. But anyone
What
can
about-
possess
What
The
about
Soul
his
Stone.
buddy?
His buddy don't know nothing.
Wong?
But they don't know how to use the Time Stone.
That's the thing.
Strange
you have to
figured that out.
know how to use the Time Stone. Doctor Strange knows how to use it. In theory, Captain Marvel may, or Thor may, but I don't remember that ever being a thing in the comics. Only Strange knew how to use it outside of Thanos or some obscure supervillains.
Or ones
But
that
anyone can use the Soul Stone. You just have to have something that you have to sacrifice. So, my thought
R.I.P.
is that-
Spider-Man.
the only way for Tony to bring back the population that died, he has to sacrifice the things that mean the most to him. And that would mean the Avengers that are there currently. We dealt with the idea and getting used to the idea of Wanda being in love with Vision and her having to cope with the fact that these people, or that this person might die in order for them to be able to win the fight. Tony has struggled with that possibility since the second Avengers movie. where he had the flashback of everyone being dead. It was only, by the way, the current crew that was dead. He didn't have a flashback, or I guess a vision of everyone else.
Well,
even though they all had movies at the time.
I was about to say, like,
Other than
to be
Spider-Man.
fair, like, I mean, we didn't really know if they were even gonna all meet up, so we can't exactly say that.
There were
'cause
silhouettes of other characters, though. They had silhouettes of other
I'm just
people.
imagining Tony Stark pushing all of the Avengers off of a fucking cliff.
All right,
Oh my
bitches,
God.
we gotta do this. I
Opposite
love you
scenario.
guys so much.
I don't think it's going to be an off the cliff scenario. I think it's going to be one of these things where Tony's going to opt it as an idea, or Captain America's going to opt it as an idea, and they're all going to have to do it together.
Hey, Cap, you remember that time you shoved your shield in my fucking suit? Push.
Uh,
That was the
so
easy one.
I really think that that's going to be the debate. They already got us used to loss in this movie, so they're going to try to use the Soul Stone to even it all out.
Here,
The lives of all these superheroes could equal the lives of everyone that died, as well as the other superheroes, and that would bring them back. That could also technically bring back the Asgardians, which would give Thor motive to go through with it.
Okay, I think there's going to be one of two ways the next movie is going to play out. It's either going to be the very obvious they go back in time angle, or it's going to be they both start in a separate but equal like dimension. Both dimensions think the other dimension is dead. Once they somehow figure out that, like with Captain
You really
Marvel,
want them to live, which is not what's going to happen.
No. Just listen. I don't think they're all going to live. I actually think there's a bunch of them that are going to die. Like, I think Cap's going to lose his super soldier serum and he's going to die. But
He's going to deflate.
that's basically what happened in the comics. He got old really fucking fast. But anyway, they're going to figure it out through Captain Marvel, SHIELD, what have you. Whatever way, they're going to figure it out. They're going to come back together, and then the fight with Thanos is going to happen. And after they defeat him, like certain characters are going to die. Like maybe Captain America loses his super soldier serum. He's going to die. I have a feeling that Iron Man isn't going to die, but he's going to just retire, or he's just going to become too broken to fight anymore, because they've been kind of building him up that way. I really hope that I don't want him to stay dead, but I really hope they do it. Just kind of stay with it. Obviously, we know Loki's going to stay dead, and I hope since the Asgardians weren't killed the way that the main cast was killed, they're probably going to actually stay dead. But I really think that's how it's going to happen. They're all going to come together, and then at the end, they're going to fight Thanos once they realize they're opposite. Because there's no way that they're just going to have half the main cast, and the most popular half, arguably because it had both Black Panther and Spider-Man, who are both new, gone for the whole second part of Avengers.
Well, my thing, I think that we're still going to see a lot of these characters together in the next movie. I think that they already weakened Thanos. He's injured already from Thor. So it's really plausible that who we have left will be who finishes it off. I think that their moments together will be during the Soul Stone moment, most likely. But I don't see them all being together for the majority of the movie. I think that that's not really the point of the movie.
We're forgetting the third option, though. The one that I almost forgot to talk about. The one where... And, like, I don't remember if you've ever read this, Mike, but I can't remember which one it was. It was one of the times that somebody got their hands on all 5 stones, and the one above all was actually the one that ended up stopping him. So what would be very... I don't think they're going to do this, but this would be pretty cool.
Nebula wielding the...
No, not Nebula. Stan Lee. Stan Lee is the one above all. Stan Lee be the one that just defeats Thanos. I think that'd be pretty interesting. I doubt they would ever do that, but they've been building up his randomness for the entire thing. I doubt they're going to do that, but that'd be pretty cool.
Though, that someone kills him with his own gauntlet, and Nebula did do it.
Was it Nebula? Nebula did it. The
did
one
do it.
above all just killed him, even though he was using the gauntlet, because it didn't matter. The one above all was more powerful than the gauntlet.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's because he's technically God.
Yeah, right. That would be interesting if.
But Nebula kills Thanos. But that I don't think that's what's gonna happen.
No, I don't think. But think about it. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? Stan Lee just kind of Stan Lee saves the whole Marvel universe. It'd be interesting, to me at least. I would be. I don't know if I'd be happy. I'd be pleasantly content with like that ending. I think it'd be interesting. Stanley
Do we
shows
have any
up.
more theories?
Nope.
We're already at an hour and 41 minutes.
No, I think that's about it. Anybody have some final remarks? Not everybody at once.
It was a good movie.
All right, guys.
It was a good movie.
It was, yeah, it was a pretty good movie. I think we talked the hell out of it, and hopefully one of us is right, and a year from now we can do this again, and somebody gets attacked.
We're not all gonna talk for another year.
Yeah, no.
No,
There's
this is
definitely
it.
not gonna be-
This is it. This is it. Not until next year. This is gonna be it right here. So yeah,
Bye.
unless anybody has some last comments, I'm gonna say bye, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead.
That's
and,
it. Bye.
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 All right, bye, guys. Have a nice time, day, whatever. Bye.
Am I actually hanging up though? LOL. Jokes on
I'm
y'all.
not hanging up.
Bye. Bye.